Please subscribe, like, comment, and turn on the notification button so you are aware of our future episodes that you will love so much. Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting installment of a Film Biz Show. Today we have the electric Iron Lady, the Commissioner of the Jamaican Film Commission, a woman who's done extraordinary things. We're in the heart of MIP Africa, and since we've come here, we've heard a lot about the interventions that the Jamaican Film Commission is doing. But without further ado, please can you help me welcome the amazing Miss Jacqueline Jackson. Welcome.
Yay! This is where you put the audio and the clapping sound, and the dance, and the balloons.
And how have you been?
I've been good.
Yeah?
I've been really good.
Yeah. How are you finding the Cape Town weather and the environment here?
First of all,
yeah.
I am so comfortable. I think I'm a little too comfortable.
Wow.
I've extended my trip a little.
Yeah, you should.
Like that's a problem.
Yeah.
I'm usually eager to get back to my bed. No, but the weather is really great.
Yeah.
So born and raised in Jamaica, went to school in New York. So this weather is perfect.
Okay.
Because Jamaica is always hot.
Okay.
Right? Summer is boiling.
Is it more humid kind of hot?
Yeah, it's a mixture because sometimes it's very humid, and then there's other days where there is breezy and can go sit under a tree.
Okay.
So it's in between, but it's always just hot.
Yeah.
Just hot. That's the kind of temperature we have.
But so you're an entrepreneur by heart. I mean, you've got your business, Ideate That, which is doing great stuff. You've got a television show. Can you just give us an idea of what exactly is the content that you've been working on?
I don't like talking about myself.
Oh no, I don't believe you at all.
No, so I think I'm a multi-potentialite. I think I want to say that. I love creating. I'm a storyteller, and I just love my country and I love my culture. So I think anything that I create, and if I think back, anything that I've written, anything that I've created, TED is about the foundation of who I am, and it is Jamaica. You know, my name is Jacqueline Jackson.
Jacqueline Jackson, get that right.
Right? But seriously, I think just traveling, I've traveled a lot, went to school abroad, and I started very young in the industry. And just to note, I've done nothing else in my life but film, video, and television production. I've always known it. You know, when you just have, it's my personality to it, right? I'm very passionate. I'm very confident. Not every day, because I'm human, right? But I've always known there's something about me that needs to be in a creative space. I always knew I had to be in the arts. So, you know, growing up, my parents were like, oh, yes, you chat so much. You're going to be a lawyer. Yeah, right. It's like, no. And I think I'd be a good lawyer.
Yeah.
But when I went to high school, you know, I found pockets and church and high school.
Okay.
You're able to perform and you play Mary and all of these things. And so I found myself in those spaces, and I was like, oh my God, there are people out here that like to sing and like to dance and like to host and like to command a room so I don't feel excluded. But again, I have to, you know, commend my parents for empowering me. You know, like they had me joining cadets and they had me doing pageants. I entered like a Miss Jamaica Universe pageant. I did it all because they're like, I have all this energy. Just go forth and be great. Of course, I had to do some track and field. I'm Jamaican after all, right? Let's be honest. We start early. So I think all of those things kind of culminated when I went to the University of the West Indies, and I had to choose, what are you going to do for your undergraduate degree? And I found CARIMAC, and that's the Caribbean Institute for Media and Communication. And everybody was like, what? You're going to school to do television? Like, what does that mean? Like, well, you know, because at that time, people are like, you know, are you going to become like a TV host? Are you going to read the news? I'm like, guys, come on. Because again, we're not really used to seeing ourselves on TV, on our content on TV. So, I mean, my parents are going to be worried about what my future is going to hold. You only have probably 10 people on TV. Like, are you going to try to steal one of these people, these vintage people's job? Like, that's not going to happen. But out of that, I think I just learned how to create a space for myself. My first job would have been with Television Jamaica. I, joined as a production assistant, worked my way up in 2 weeks, started producing for Smile Jamaica, which is our, prime and official morning time TV show there. And I worked for probably 2-3 years, and then I decided I've outgrown this. I know what to do. I know everybody in Jamaica. Everybody's coming because you're just like you. You get to meet everyone, the prominent people, the persons who are upcoming, the business owners. And then I was like, okay, I've outgrown this space. I want to go to film school. I want to learn more, So then I was like, I needed to do a practical course. And so I moved to New York. Went to Long Island University, film, video, television production management. And I loved it. I loved it. I was like, yes, this is my space. This is my place. Met so many good friends. And then I started working on so much short films. Let me tell you, people. To make a good film, to make any good product at all, make some bad ones.
Make some bad ones. Exactly.
Boy.
You know what we say?
You.
Yeah, it's true. It's the bad ones that you learn from the most. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I learned how to create good content, even for myself, just to look and feel, oh, I've made that mistake. Oh, I know what, I'm not doing that. I have to scout differently, and I have to interview differently. I have to, shoot differently, different cameras, angles, You're always going to have memory problems, battery problems.
Yeah,
you have to come prepared, right?
Yeah.
Right. So out of that, I think I went to New York and I found myself again, okay. But when I moved to New York, I was like, I'm going to be a producer. But then when I got to New York, I was like, maybe I could do something in front of the screens. And then I held on to it and said, I wanted to be patient with myself. And then I did my internship at BET. Out of that, I was able to work at Comedy Central, Late Night with Lyra Wilmore. I worked on another BET show with Story Culture, and I think it was 50 Central. So I did a lot of stuff in New York. And then at some point, I was like, okay, I think I want to be home.
Why didn't you stay?
So I don't want to be disingenuous because I didn't necessarily leave because I'm also an American citizen, right? Because I was there for over 10 years, right? But I needed to give back to my country. And I felt the best way for me to do that is to go home and help with film, video, and television production. And I didn't know what that would look like. I didn't know if I was going to be accepted, knowing that most of my education, I would say, in film and video and television production, and my experience would have been in New York. Because I really only spent 3 years working in Jamaica at a television station. So lots of the persons who've been on the ground working in the industry, some of them wouldn't have been familiar with me if they wouldn't have been, worked with me or saw me at TVJ. And at TVJ, I was a young hot girl, you know what I mean? So it's at that point, I'm.
How old were you at TVJ?
Like 22, 21, right out of college.
Were you presenting there?
No, behind the scenes. Okay. I was producing.
How come why didn't you go directly into being in front of the camera?
I just didn't think I was good enough. But artists go through that.
Yes, that's true.
Let's be honest.
I went through it. Actually, I got into the entertainment industry. I was only 26 years old.
Yeah.
26. Yeah. After working in corporate, so I understand exactly what you mean. I
didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I spoke well enough. And also, as I got older, I realized what my deficiencies, but it's true. Like I'm high functioning. So my brain goes so fast. The ideas, I have 100,000 answers to one question that you have. I read a lot, I'm extremely creative, and I'm always doing 100 things. So I move so fast, and my brain moves faster than my mouth. And then I have to learn now, like if I'm just messing up, all I have to do is slow down. But I wouldn't have known that until I started shooting my own show, talking to people, and being able to listen. Because that's a part of the craft. But you wouldn't know that until you start do the work. Yeah. To be honest. If you watch my first season of my TV show, oh my God, I was so bad. In my mind. It's terrible, man.
What do you think?
Sound good.
What mistakes do you think you made in the beginning?
I think I wanted to be perfect. And so I wasn't myself. I wasn't myself in season 1. First of all, I'm just moving back to Jamaica. I'm starting a company. I'm having a TV show. I'm creating an adult coloring book. Like art. I'm putting a TV show. I'm going to put my show on local television. Am I going to be accepted? Am I too brown? Do I have an accent? Am I losing the patois? Am I authentic, even though the show is about colloquialism? Have I done enough research? Am I asking the right questions? All of that is happening to me when I'm talking to somebody that's on my set. So I felt I was too hard on myself. And guess what? Where's my camera? Creatives, don't be hard on yourselves. You are human.
That's it.
Just start. I don't care what you do. Use a little old phone with a crack in the camera. It don't matter. Just go and do it. And I hope someone can hear this and listen and know. No matter what the accent, no matter how you look, no matter if you think you need to be thin and you need to be skinny, and all of those things are inconsequential. People relate to you if you are yourself and you tell your story. Fat, tall, black, brown, white, it don't matter.
Love it. Absolutely love it. It's a very important message that you're sending, because it talks about your self-image and finding a way to love yourself as you are.
Yeah.
But let's talk about your company, how you started it, the reason why, and how's the television program going? I know you've got 4 programs or 4 episodes that you're currently working on.
3 seasons, and I have 1. Yeah, so 3 is complete. 3 full seasons, and then I have 1 pre-production. So with my 4th season in pre-production.
Tell me, how are they going? Very interesting concept. It's all about teaching people about patois. What's patois?
So patois is the mother language. Like it's the tongue, you know? So we talk a Jamaican. We talk like in a patois, you're not gonna sound me say. I might think that's a foreign language that. You know what I mean?
I'm just melting as you talk.
Yeah, man.
Jamaican thing is hitting me left and right.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Hitting me inside. Hey.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Thing real, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how do you the premise of it all is to
look at
translate?
So not necessarily translate, because I wanted to keep it simple. It's not a linguistic show. That's not what it is. So basically you have terminologies that we use all the time, right? So of course I want to educate people on the tongue. You take it one step at a time. So we're talking one terminology at a time. So the first season we spoke about, so I'll give you the example. The best way to explain it is like the first season. So the first season is bad mind. Do you know what bad mind means?
No, ma'am.
Okay, bad mind. Do you know what envy means?
Envy, being
malicious.
Envious. Yes, ma'am.
Covetous. Yeah, that's it. Bad mind.
Bad mind.
Bad mind.
What, but wait, let's spell it. BADMIND. Bad mind.
Bad mind.
Wow.
Yes. Bad mind.
It actually makes sense. Someone who's envious does have a bad mind.
Exactly.
I think, okay.
Exactly. It's simple, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you listen to our music, if you listen to how we talk, I'm sure I would have said today, because me there Africa, some of them bad mind me and my delegation.
Aye. That is so dope. That is so dope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's an example, right?
Okay.
So it's like we use it all the time. So what I wanted to highlight were the terminologies that people accept, and don't curse nobody with on a show.
I won't.
Do not curse nobody with on a show. Because all I know is right? That's all I know. But there are other terminologies that we use that resonate with, people are like, oh my God, I love that accent. What does that mean? So something like a bad mind is you look at the history of the terminology, when it was first like published in the paper, and then you break down bad mind, and then I have a linguist on the show, I have a psychologist on the show, just talk about it, and then just talk to the regular people on the road. What are their feelings? Use bad mind in a sentence. Like, it's just to have fun with the word itself. But also, as I was saying to you earlier, it's almost like, this is who I am. This is who we are. And we have to accept these things about us. How we speak identifies us in the world. When we go foreign, when we in a big plane, I'm talking, I'm say, hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Well, go on. Everybody knows I'm Jamaican. Yes, I'm saying, so we can't shy away from that. That's who we are. So I created a TV show. So basically, my TV show is a Jamaican colloquial show.
Wonderful. I mean, one of the conversations we're having in this marketplace, and there was actually a panel about it, is what is it that makes a story globally,
commercially
viable.
Yeah.
And the research has shown that the more culturally specific it is, the more universal appeal it has.
Absolutely.
We always try to be the other, but as soon as you're trying to be something else,
it shows.
It shows.
Yeah.
So I love what you're doing. You're teaching young Black Jamaican girls to love who they are, and people to to accept themselves. But I want to talk about the coloring book that you came up with for adults.
Yeah.
Why that? Why that decision?
You remember how I said to you that how my brain works is very weird? I didn't know how to calm down, and I'm still practicing. This meditation thing is so wild.
It's hectic. Oh, have you started it?
I've been trying every morning, 5 minutes.
I know.
Putting the phone on 5 minutes.
I know.
For shut off your mind. For sit down. For 5 minutes. For not do nothing. No, man.
It's hectic.
Very hard.
Yeah.
So I've had to learn how to pace myself. And I think when I moved to New York, it was right at LIU, and I saw some persons, like after class, and they're just taking a break, and they're coloring. And in my brain, I was like, why the person that color them pick the book? Because coloring is for kids.
Yeah, right.
Right? And I was like, oh my God, do you have a child? And they're like, no, I don't have a child. This is an adult coloring book. Mind blown.
Adult
coloring book. And this is probably 12, 15 years ago this happened. And it stuck with me. It stuck with me. And then I went to a Christmas party and I was gifted one. You know, like how you'd have like a raffle and you have to buy a Christmas gift that's, $5. You have an amount. And so it's a Christmas party. It's not on Christmas. So I think it was my gym. And at the time I was doing CrossFit. And they're like, okay, you have to buy a gift for $5 or less. It has to be nice. It has to be thoughtful. So the gift I got was a coloring book.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, is the Lord's telling me something?
Exactly.
What is?
It really is.
So I always had it. And then I just start buying coloring books and I went on Amazon. But anyways, fast forward. I was in Jamaica now in 2020. COVID happened. Loads of people are dying. I don't want to get into that drab. And then I just said, I need to exactly how it happened. I want to send, a couple of my friends who, family passed. I'm going to send them coloring book. We're all stuck inside. We need something to do. So I was searching. I was like, I'd love to send them. I'm in Jamaica right now at the time. I was like, I'm not going back to New York right now. And I could not find a Jamaican coloring book.
Oh.
The producer inside of me.
Yeah.
The entrepreneur inside of me.
Boom, there we go.
They said I go create one for myself.
Yeah.
He is going to create a Jamaican adult coloring book. So I called up some illustrators. I have 80 illustrations. They're all Jamaican. The only thing that isn't Jamaican about the book is that it's printed. It's printed on demand on Amazon.
Okay.
Because on everything for it. The cover, the pagination of the book, just the look and feel of the book, the words in the book, the title of the book, everything is Jamaican, made by Jamaica for Jamaicans.
So how did you source your material and the people to actually create it?
So I just went out to my creatives. I just, called up a couple persons. And by the way, I didn't want one person to work on it. So I spent more money than I really should. But then I thought it was a part of a process.
Yeah.
And also I didn't want you to be coloring the same, because illustrators have a style.
Yeah.
So I think I hired probably 10 illustrators. And then I probably gave them, so I was like, all right, so you illustrate fast, I'll give you 20. All right, you illustrate slow, you only get 5. I know one of my good friends, Brian, who actually did the cover of the book, he only got 1. I said, you're too slow. You're too slow. You do 1. He probably got the most intense one. And he did the cover of the book. And so it's on Amazon now, and it's doing well. And in Jamaica, in stores, in our Fontana pharmacies, but most persons get it on Amazon, and it's, accessible globally.
And what kind of pictures is it?
So basically, the other thing too, I didn't just want to put an image in there for you to color. I also wanted to put an affirmation. I'm big on affirmations, right? So I'm healthy. Yeah. So the illustrations are very Jamaican. So I am healthy. I'm thinking about what I'm healthy is probably a nice black, it's black and white, but a nice woman with dreads with like banana on her head.
A white banana.
Like a fluffy, like a round, curvy woman. I am healthy. So it kind of mixture, it's all Jamaican. So the illustrations kind of depicted my culture. So I'm healthy. I'm wealthy, I'm grateful, all of those things. I'm co-creating the life of, for success, all of those things. I just kind of wanted something that is relatable, something that anybody can pick up and go, oh my God, this is a really nice book. But also to be like, oh, this is nice, this is different, this looks familiar. We have a hand cat in it. I think that one is like, I am happy or something like that. You know what I mean? It's a hand cat, it's a man will have a jerk chicken pan man or something. So it's Jamaican because you can relate to those things. But also if you don't know it's Jamaican, you're like, oh, this is nice and this is Caribbean or something like that. So yeah. So I did it for me as a creative, it's nonstop. It's 24/7. You're always wanting to be better. You're always wanting to, better your craft. And for me now, you haven't asked me anything about being a film commissioner.
We're getting there.
But I'm sure we'll get there. But also, just imagine that I have an adult coloring book. I own a business, which now I have to have somebody run that business because I'm now a film commissioner. I have a Jamaican adult coloring book, so I have to manage that. And then being the film commissioner, and then being a creative, and just being an individual who just loves life and wants to explore and want to go work out. It's a multiplicity of things that happens, and you wanna be happy, you know.
Now, Jackie, sorry to interject, but with all these things that are happening, I mean, you're constantly wearing different hats, right? I mean, from a creative, you write, you implement, a business person.
Yeah.
How do you find time to actually calm down?
Coloring book,
okay.
and I work out.
Okay.
I've found two things that work for me, and I'm not saying you need to go get a coloring book. I'm saying find what works for you.
But you do need to work out.
Yeah, but you do need to work out. Yeah, and working out is different. You know, I love lifting weights, but I also like hiking.
Yeah.
I have 2 bicycles hanging on my wall, so I ride as well. I do ride a motorcycle. I'm saying you don't have to be crazy like me.
Yeah, no, that's
but
wild.
Find things that resonate with you. You want to go walk? You want to go to the park? You want to go run? You want to go hike? I hate going inside of a gym. Hate it. I absolutely hate it. If I go in a gym, I need to have a trainer. I like program, I like structure. But if I'm gonna go walk in a gym, it's not necessarily gonna happen. But I like hiking, so I like go walking. You know, that's a little bit more free space on the mountain and the air that resonates with me. If not, I'm going to the gym and I'm gonna have my trainer Jay, you know, have me lift some weights.
Yeah.
But again, find what works for you.
Find what works. But plus I find the body is a very sensitive instrument. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, because you're interacting with this thing and you find that people are there watching, or, you know, it does kind of intimidate some people. So let's talk about the Jamaican Film Commission. You are currently holding the position of the commissioner, which means you're overseeing, you know, the mandate of this government agency. If you can just let us know what it is that you guys are here to do at Fame Week Africa, and also just your overall, you know, trajectory in which you guys are taking now that you have taken the seat.
Yeah. So Jamaican Film Commission, we are a part of an agency, and the agency is JAMPRO, so Jamaican Promotion Corporation. It's on my shirt, JAMPRO. And JAMPRO is an agency of the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. And I know that is a mouthful, but basically it's a ministry that has an agency, and we sit within that agency.
Makes sense.
Right? So our job really is investment in and export of the creative industries. I'm also the manager for film, animation and music. Yeah, film, animation and music. So we call it FAM, F-A-M. And so my role is dual, because I am the film commissioner, and the film commissioner, you know, goes on these nice platforms and have conversations in South Africa. Yeah. And then the film commissioner also looks on like a global perspective, looking at what the research for the industry is, and then try to pivot based on where we're going in the industry. And then you have the film commission inside where it's probably 4 persons that sit in the office. And then we have to look at the mandate of the office that we sit in. So this is so JAMPRO is important to the government because we're looking at businesses and facilitating businesses. So under that, we have to work on 2 things, really. If I can break it up simply, is one, the job of lobbying for the creatives, the Jamaican creatives. And then the second would be ensuring that we're facilitating international productions coming into the area. Make sense?
Yeah.
So we have a budding creative sector. I don't want to say industry, and I'm flippant about it all the time.
I love that. I also don't believe in South Africa we can't call it an industry because it hasn't been industrialized.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm always very, about it. I'm like, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
But when we really know what the terminology means, I believe that we have a growing, budding, creative film sector. That's right? It. But what we have in Jamaica, though, is a really, really good international sort of facilitation for international productions. So predominantly, we have been a service industry, right? You come to Jamaica, an international production comes to Jamaica, it's quick for them to crew up. You know, they bring their HODs. I'm talking about above the line, below the line. Yeah. Right? So you want an actor, an actress, you're looking for PAs, you're looking for, audio technicians. All of those things you can find. You don't have to bring those things in. Some other countries, you would have to do that. Caribbean, islands, you'd have to do that. But because we've been working on international productions for so long, which the government loves because that money comes in, it goes right into, our consolidated fund. It is capital expenditure. Wonderful, right?
Wonderful.
Great, we love it. But because of that, we've been able to upskill because as the productions come in, you're able to intern, you're able to sit at the feet of those who are like, the big DOPs, the DPs, etc. And you're like, okay, so this is how international productions are done. So you would know recently the Bob Marley, film that happened there, the James Bond.
Fantastic.
There's so many things that are happening. Black Cake. I know Get Millie Black from HBO hasn't been released yet, but there's so many projects in the last 3, 4, 5 years, huge productions. So we've been doing well in that spirit. And I think we kind of slowed down a little bit because, the SAG-AFTRA that hit us, a little bit in 2023, last year. And then COVID. So we've really been, we've been okay. We've been going through it, but we've still been doing well. And so there's that. And then when I walked into the office last year, a year ago, because I'm about a year into my tenure, the minister would have announced previously the Jamaica Screen Development Initiative. And so Finance Minister, Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clark says, we're giving you $1 billion. And $1 billion Jamaican dollars sounds like a lot of money.
It does, trust, yeah.
But it is approximately $6 million US dollars.
Okay.
No, it's huge for us because we've never, ever been funding. We have never gotten funding.
How did it survive? How did the industry survive without funding?
Because of the international productions coming in. So that's
servicing.
How, exactly. Remember I said
Are there
that.
any rebates in place for
Well, there weren't any rebates. Now, a part of the Jamaica Screen Development Initiative, the 6th funding category now is a production rebate. So it's 10% of your spend on island. So let's say a production came in and they spend 100 million. So that if the cap is 1.5 US. For any part, you can't get more than 1.5 million US dollars. We have 6, so you see the issue, right? So it's not a lot of projects that are going to come and spend 100 million. No. Like, come on, even Bob Marley's less than that. So, which is a big production.
Huge one.
Yeah, huge. So that's what we're working with now. So we've got that sort of funding. I walked in, and so you asked about what is the mandate for us. It is one, rolling out Jamaica Screen Development Initiatives. I came in, operationalized that, wrote the words with the team on the ground, the creatives, talking to the stakeholders, because we're creating it for them. So we had to bring them in and say, this is what we have. This is what the government is proposing. This is the cabinet submission. These are the percentages. This is the figure for these areas. And that's what, we basically worked with. We launched this year, January 31st at the Office of the Prime Minister. And then we had the open call and then closed call April 28th. We've completed internal validation. We got 406 applications. 2/3 of that is now going on to the evaluation round. And so so we're at 236 projects. So that's over like 50%. That's 2/3. I mean, do the math. You're good at math?
Yeah, relatively, I'm okay.
Exactly, okay. No, I'm horrible. So I'm happy for you. So what I'm saying is, that would be the biggest thing for us, would have been the funding. And then now, for me, I came in strategically and I'm like, how can I support? How can I lobby? I said, also, one of the things I had to look at is, what are the spaces that we're not occupying? This is the 40th year of the Film Commission. We have never taken a delegation to Africa.
My goodness.
No, you tell me no.
Yeah, no, well done. Well done to you.
And I love it.
Yeah.
To the day before flying to Africa, I wasn't sure I was going to go.
Was it that bad? Was that touch and go?
It takes time. It takes time and approvals. And remember, we have to, there's approvals and approvals and approvals. And then I'm bringing a delegation. So it's, and I'm really grateful to my government because, boy, I know I've stressed them, right? I know I've stressed them, but it's important that I go out and do the work. For my job is to cheerlead. My job is to lobby. My job is to ask for the incentives. You say no today, maybe you'll change your mind tomorrow. You know what I mean? But we have to put the creatives in this space so they can learn. They've always been providing a service. They've never understood owning their intellectual properties. That is how you create generational sort of wealth when it concerns content creation, is teaching your creatives on the ground, your storytellers, how to fish. show them, bringing them in the space. The wealth of information they would have learned is like, it's immeasurable. Now, I'm always going to these things, but like I don't have the time to sit and talk to everyone about it, and not everyone is going to read the mission reports. Like, but no one, I can take the creatives there, and they can go back to their respective like pods and their associations. You know what I mean? When I get back home to Jamaica, I'm doing a big press conference. I post. I'm like, okay, this is what you need to know. Let's go.
And what are some of the things that you found that you've learned fundamentally from South Africa that you want to re-implement that side?
We need content. We need slate of projects. I mean, I think we would have known that already, but I think the creatives now, they're like, oh, they're asking for this sort of footage. You're looking for ways that we can collaborate and that we can write together. Like sometimes we always think as collaboration, I think I said it earlier on a panel, the collaboration has to be where I have to be where you are and you have to be where, no. I mean, come on, you and I can write. People are producing music and they've never mixed.
True.
Collaboration, we have to see collaboration differently now. I don't want to start talking about AI, but we also have to start using technology to benefit us.
Yeah, I know we don't have much time to talk about it, but what's your take on the current infiltration of AI into our business, and do you think there's a way in which this Jamaican film industry can start implementing it?
Yeah, I think I'm not against it because I'm for technology. So I use AI every day. If it's to, creating sort of graphics. Recently I've been using like Suno, like just for music to put on my, I've just been using everything. Like what's going to stop you? Just be honest about it. If I'm posting something that I'm using that, then I tag it and I say it, and social media allows you to do it. I don't have to sit down for years to get something cleared or to pick, you know what I mean? It's using the thing that is going to make you more efficient. It's going to make you productive. You've got to move faster. You've got to move faster. If you don't want to use these AI tools, somebody else would use it. And then when that person uses it, like you're going to be replaced quicker than the person who's using it.
So true.
Get to using it. Yeah. Get to using it. Can help you. It makes you quicker, faster. I'm not saying I want you to be authentic, but I want it to help you. Like, listen, I'm constantly telling AI, remind me to do this, remind me to whatever, set this, draft this email for me, put it in my email. Like what? I don't have an assistant. I have a personal assistant. I got AI. I do. For me to do and operate the things I need to do, I need help. And technology is that for me. So I say that to my creatives, be very cognizant of where it is going, right? And understand intellectual property and understanding the integrity of it all, right? And of course, your value system has to be clear. But then also when you're collaborating, those are the conversations you're going to have with your producers, etc., about what are you going to use. But I think use it for your pitches. Like when you're doing your pitch decks, when you're doing your storyboard, you don't need to draw on a storyboard now.
No.
Yep. What? The apps are there. Half of them free. And they look great. Instead of like a shabby something where you're doing a PDF, word art, looking something. I'm saying use the tools to help you get to the next level.
Let's talk about skills development and training. Yeah. What programs is the JFC currently pushing out?
Right. So for us, we have predominantly done and supported the industry. So for example, there is a program that we had, a Film Lab program that helped creatives, writing for features. And then there was Propeller, which is a basically short films program with our association, which is Jamaican Film and Television Association. And so we're always going to continue to support those things. But for us, with the Jamaica Screen Development Initiative, we found some gaps. So what we're creating now is a way to help the creatives, because remember, the service industry, know that they're getting funding and they're now going to be able to create their own content. You realize that the gaps are there. That is what we love about any new programs. It shows you where the gaps are. So I can tell you, when we're looking, a lot of persons aren't coming in with solid budgets. They're not coming in with solid financial plans. A lot of persons think they're in production phase. No, you're not, honey. You in development. You got to go rewrite that.
Exactly.
So then we realize, no, this is going to give us a better idea of the scope of work we need to do and those that we need to engage. So for me, I know right off the bat, I need to be putting together like a business program, a marketing program. I'm going to have to bring in some development persons who know how to create a proper pitch deck, how to get your Bible ready. You know what I mean? How to be succinct about your presentation. And then the other thing too is not having these pretty things, but do you know how to speak back? If you don't know how to speak back, you walk into a room, these investors, they some of them understand, some of them don't understand, but they want to understand the return on investment. So it is your job to do the research to understand what they're coming at the table for. And yes, don't complain about, they only want to know what they're going to get in return. It's your job to coin it in a way that will facilitate, that answers that question. And sometimes you can't tell because you're a filmmaker, you don't know. But if you do the research, you can do your comparisons. I do it all the time. You have a TV show, how much it is? Oh, this TV show spent $1 million. What are the other TV shows that are within this budget? Then you do the comparative tests. Sometimes, as creatives, we need to find the time to do the work.
That's true.
It's the truth.
That's so
Sometimes we get lazy. Sometimes we get lazy and we need to be reminded and tap on the back.
Yeah.
Hello, the social media is there. You can be on TikTok Googling all these nonsense. Searching all these nonsense, go Google the things that are going to help you. Ask AI to help you find that information that you need. Sometimes it's not about handing out. So for us at the Film Commission, we want to, put up a little bit more, because we did some sensitization session right before as well, just helping persons to get ready to apply, which is very critical. Now, coming into evaluation stage, we're going to be dispersing money. You have to be at a stage where you know how to manage this money. So that's where we're at now, and we hope going into the next year, we're working on, how we can do more collaborative programs, how we can get creatives in these spaces. So that's now me looking for funding and lobbying the government. But I think there are gaps there that we can fill, and the associations, they're doing their work. We're also trying to get a little early into the high schools and just expose kids to animation and television. So we'll be working closely with It is Jamaica Animation Nation Network and JAFTA, which is Jamaica Association for Film and Television Associations. Because those, you want to infiltrate when you're young. It's almost like a running program. You start running when you're little. If you start, so we're big in designs, because we're always drawing.
Yeah.
We have drawings. So we need to get the computers and the iPads so kids have access to that technology so they can get better. So you start animating when you're 20 odd, 30 odd.
It's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late. They've got to start doing it a little bit earlier. So it's a lot of work to be done. It's 1 year. We're working on some co-production treaties, as you know.
Wonderful.
The aim of the game being here is to expose my creative, to show the content that they have. A lot of people are like, I didn't know that you have Jamaicans creating content. They're there. It's just that, it's expensive for them to come to these markets. My job is to help to expose them, to, open up the information, the access to information, and just sharing within the industry. Sometimes we get a little closed up and, we hog our information sometimes. That's not what I'm about. I'm about sharing that information, giving them the opportunity to see what is out there and for them to pivot, because sometimes you have to change. They will now know you got to shoot more content. People want slates.
That's true.
Let's go.
So is there currently some kind of a treaty between South Africa and Jamaica? If not, ideally, how would the treaty look if you were to go back and put it on the table?
I met your minister yesterday.
Yeah.
Your new minister?
I know, I love him, Gaten.
That's right.
Cool guy,
Mr. McKenzie.
Yeah.
And so I said to him, one of the biggest things for us, and this is like it's a personal dream, and then it has now become a dream, of the Film Commission, is to try to tap into this market, because we've, predominantly gone to, North America and to Europe. So we have, just quickly, the background is that the Caribbean only has one co-production treaty. Jamaica has a co-production treaty. With the UK, we've never used it.
Never?
Never used it.
Why
because
not?
The percentage there is at 20%. So think about if you have an $80 million film, and the Jamaicans have to come up at 20 million, and then if you come up at 20 million, and then the UK producer have to come in to match that, and then you have to shoot a percentage here and a percentage. I don't need to go into that. So we need to change, and that's why for me, I love having the conversation about treaties, but I also think that creatives need to collaborate and have agreements.
That's true.
I have spoken with NFVF and I've spoken there let's do some MOUs. Sometimes those work better.
It's true.
Because the treaties are tedious.
Yeah. And
nonsensical.
There's less,
less
it's just so much
bureaucratic, nonsense. It's what it is. We respect it and there's that space. So when you get to that level and you're able to do that, but I think we can start with, development things with the MOUs, and we can start writing together. I think for me, it's like, here are some creatives in Jamaica, here are some creatives in in South Africa. And you start there, you know, sharing ideas, and then you get to the next stage because you have persons who are emerging and then those who are been around for a very long time and they have their slates of projects that are doing well. And I think it's just those sorts of collaborations and then synchronicities, and then you can start working together. So I think that's what we're doing right now. I'm happy to be here. I'm having all these conversations. I'm on these panels. And my thing is always, we're Black people, you know?
Yeah, man.
We're Black.
We are.
We share the same culture.
We are.
We need to be like working together. And I find that sometimes we look a bit bad mind. We look a bit, remember the teacher? Remember teacher bad mind? Exactly. We look a bit envious. And sometimes a crab in the barrel mentality. You know what crab in a barrel mean?
Yeah, definitely. We pull each other down.
We're pulling each other down. And we have to come out of that mindset. We, you know, I feel like sometimes we act as if we're still enslaved.
And we long out of it.
We long out of it. So we have to start, you know, moving in a way that speaks about who we are, where we're at. And then we start telling our stories. Can you imagine? Imagine me and you write a story, right? So you have a South African story. Okay, write a love story or something, right? You're hitting your market. I'm hitting my market.
Exactly.
Right? I'm hitting your audience. You're hitting my audience.
True.
Diaspora and all.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
Well, win-win. Let's work on it.
It is a win-win. Let's work on it. You saw the seed. I was trying
you
to
planted a seed.
You see how I turn.
We're gonna make it happen.
Body language.
Don't worry.
You read that?
Yeah, Jacqueline, man, thank you so much for visiting us at the Film Biz Show.
Yeah.
We do hope that this is the beginning of a long relationship that we can have with you. Jamaica is, you know, it's a country that symbolizes so much about, you know, self-realization, and I think you are the epitome of what the message that we've been getting has been about. Obviously, we've been influenced, you know, tremendously by your music and by your culture, and we hope that going forward we're able to create those MOUs, we're able to create those creative partnerships.
Absolutely.
And stories that can change the narrative about people of our descent.
I agree.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you.
This is fun. I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave the Film Biz Show.
It's about time.